10:24 a.m. here in northern New Mexico. You got it locked to Monarchy Radio, rarely imitated, never duplicated, celebrating our 20th week, by which I mean year. And now, my friends, I think probably one of the best things we are able to do here in the Media Monarchy Kingdom, and huge thanks to Gavin Mounsey. He took this and ran with it. Now, this is a lot of what happens and needs to happen in alternative media. How do I do this? Tell me how to do that. I don't know how to do this. You have to tell me how to do that. You just do it. You do the work. That's usually how the work gets done. So we moved it a couple of months ago to the second Wednesday of the month, which I think hopefully gives it a little more prominent placement and makes it less likely to get bumped by holidays that come maybe later in the month. So we are going to jump inside the Mounsey house, my friends, and I will link up, as always, your Mounsey Minute posts on Media Monarchy and link you to recipesforreciprocity.com. I forget who it was, someone recently said, bought the Recipes for Reciprocity book for my wife. It is fantastic. So now I'll put Gavin up to this, because my birthday was last month, but Casspot's birthday is coming up in just under 2 weeks, and I wondered, because even saying the words sound kind of funny, why aren't there birthday pies? We always talk about birthday cake. Why doesn't anyone have birthday pie?
This is Gavin Mounsey for Media Monarchy. I'm author of Recipes for Reciprocity, the regenerative way from seed to table, and this is the Mounsey Minute. This month, I'm going to be sharing a recipe with you that's going to be going to my next book for elderberry pie. We were blessed with an epic elderberry harvest this year. I got over 15 pounds from each of our bushes, so I decided to diversify our recipes and go off into trying making some baked goods. Most elderberry pie recipes call for a huge amount of sugar, so instead of using that processed, refined, usually GMO, glyphosate-laced store-bought white sugar that most recipes call for, I use sugar that comes from the same land and habitat as the elderberry. I used a combination of maple sugar and birch syrup to balance out the tang of the elderberries and enrich the recipe with some more northern food forest essence, minerals, and character. Maple sugar is just what happens when you cook down the sap all the way to when it becomes crystallized. And for those who aren't familiar, birch syrup is actually similar to maple syrup. So certain birch species, like yellow birch, for instance, and other species, can actually be tapped and their sap cooked down and concentrated the sugar just like a maple tree. So for those living in the extreme north, birch syrup is a viable option to make sugar from the land that you live on. Now, one might think that the maple or birch sugar would have a strong flavor and overwhelm the elderberries, but it actually blended really beautifully, and the predominant flavor in the resulting pie was very elderberry forward. Now, elderberries are packed full of those antioxidants called anthocyanins, so the resulting pie is not only delicious, but medicinally potent, offering osteoprotective and osteoregenerative benefits. That means helping to protect your bone structure and helping heal bones at an accelerated rate if you've actually had a bone fracture. Reproductive health enhancing benefits from the antioxidants that especially help female reproductive health, but also the sperm quality for males. Neuroprotective and neuroregenerative benefits, offering protection against those artificial EMFs getting blasted at us from all directions, and also helping with the production of new brain cells. Ocular protective and ocular regenerative benefits, offering help to the eyes and protecting your eyes and helping regenerate against minor damages to your cornea, as well as immune system optimizing benefits, which is what elderberry is famous for. So if you're taking an elderberry syrup or having some of this elderberry pie, you're going to significantly reduce the symptom time of something like a respiratory infection or a flu. Now, elderberries themselves, when they're cooked, they become very liquid texture. So I was a little skeptical about making a pie out of elderberries, but once you add a little bit of non-GMO cornstarch, you can actually cook that in with the berries before you make your pie filling, and it adds a really nice full texture, and you basically get the same kind of texture as you'd get from a blueberry pie. If you check out my post on Substack, you'll find links to the different medicinal effects offered by this elderberry pie. Now, the ingredients are pretty simple. If you're going to make your own crust from scratch, you just need some flour, butter, salt, and some water, or you can buy those pre-made crusts from the store. And for the filling, it's also very simple. All you need is elderberries, maple sugar in my case, birch syrup, another source of sugar, though you could use store-bought sugar if you don't have those too, non-GMO cornstarch, lemon juice, and water. You can use ripe fresh berries or ripe frozen berries. Either of them, when you put them off the stem. You're rolling them off the stem between your fingers. It's easy to separate the berries individually. Takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth it because the end result is a really rich flavor. One of the keys to getting a nice consistency with your pie is don't be impatient like me and try a piece right out of the oven, because you're still going to have a pretty liquidy consistency to the filling. It's important that it cools fully, and then the cornstarch will do its job in making a nice texture that's fork manageable, let's say. I found that the pie goes beautifully with some vanilla ice cream. I hope you guys will try making your own version of this and let us know how it goes. I still have some elderberries from my last harvest, so I'm going to separate some seeds from those, and I'll have those available for anyone who purchases a copy of my book and writes me an email to let me know that you want some of the seeds. Hope you have an awesome day tomorrow, James. Happy birthday, brother.
Gabriel Kelly on Media Monarchy, the Elderberry song from 2013 by Grammy-nominated Gabriel Kelly, folk musician from Nashville, Tennessee. That song didn't say anything about elderberries. Maybe we'll have to include the link of Gabriel Kelly discussing his song, the Elderberry song. That was Gavin's musical pick to accompany his Mounsey Minute, number 21. Birthday pie. Food, forest, essence in a pie. Again, a huge thanks to our buddy Gavin Mounsey for recipes for reciprocity.com. Recipes for Reciprocity. It does kind of sound like a New York City hardcore song. Recipes for Reciprocity. So, Jimmy's birthday was last month, 8/11, never forget. Monarchy's birthday is tomorrow, but Castbot's birthday is in 2 Tuesdays, my friends. Notes from the chat. This is the best Wednesday episode I ever heard. Sweet. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. John Birch Society syrup. In my part of the world, it is tradition to plant elderberry trees on the north side of the house. It's where the good spirits dwell. And speaking of spirits, my dead friend used to make elderberry wine, and it was real good, way better than the chrysanthemum wine. Oh, fuck. I have a big bag of elderberries in the freezer, says Fudge Trudy, who's always just posting amazing photos. Can you mail me some biscuits and gravy? So hungry now. One of my sons has apple pie instead of cake. And you know, I've told you, I always get cherry cheesecake. Huge thanks to the Castbot. I don't have to get those giant cookie company cookies anymore. See? I mean, I told you. It seemed like a slightly sexualized school menu and some horny yoga cassettes earlier. Sex tips in your recipes for reciprocity to help your sperm count and female reproductive health. And remember, there is always a standalone MP3 download for your monthly Mounsey Minutes, so they are easier to share without you having to send your mom a link to my obscene radio show. You're listening to your Morning Monarchy, 1037 a.m. Carrot cake and lasagna was what my mom made for my birthday for 20 years. That sounds pretty tasty.